The invitation that changed everything. The discovery. High above the spiral arms of the Milky Way, the Nexus Coalition's monitoring station drifted silently through space. For 3 centuries, the Coalition had served as guardians of peace among 47 different species. Their mission was simple: find new civilizations and welcome them into the galactic community with open arms and gentle words. Commander Zora Velthos adjusted her crystalline headset as strange signals flooded through the communication array. Her people, the Velani, had evolved from peaceful ocean dwellers, and their natural empathy made them perfect ambassadors. Around her, technicians from a dozen different worlds worked quietly at their stations, their various forms of communication creating a soft symphony of clicks, whistles, and harmonic tones. Commander called Tech Specialist Bryn, his blue tentacles dancing over the controls. We have confirmed the source. Third planet from a yellow star, approximately 27,000 light-years from the galactic center. The signals show advanced technology and organized civilization. Zara's gill slits fluttered with excitement. A new discovery always brought hope for expanding their peaceful alliance. She studied the data flowing across her screens. The radio signals showed music, news broadcasts, and what appeared to be entertainment programs. Most interesting were the mathematical sequences and scientific data mixed in with the cultural transmissions. "What do we know about their technology level?" she asked. "Impressive for a recently spacefaring species," replied Dr. Kent, the Coalition's chief scientist. His insectoid features twitched as he processed the information. "They have achieved nuclear fusion, basic spaceflight, and their mathematics are quite sophisticated. However, there are some unusual patterns in their transmissions." "Unusual how?" Dr. Kent hesitated. "Much of their entertainment media seems to focus on conflict scenarios, stories about wars, competitions, and survival situations. It could indicate a naturally aggressive species, or perhaps they simply find such topics interesting for fictional purposes." Zara nodded thoughtfully. Many species had violent histories before achieving galactic maturity. The important thing was to guide them toward peaceful coexistence. She activated the long-range communication array and began composing the Coalition's standard first contact message. The message: to the people of the third planet of system designation Sol 5947. She began, her words being translated into mathematical concepts and universal symbols. "Greetings from the Nexus Coalition. We are a peaceful alliance of worlds dedicated to knowledge, trade, and mutual cooperation. We extend an invitation to join our community of civilized species. Please respond with a small diplomatic vessel to the coordinates provided. We look forward to cultural exchange and the beginning of a lasting friendship." The message was broadcast using quantum transmission technology that would reach Earth within hours. Along with the greeting, the Coalition included detailed instructions for peaceful first contact protocols, translation matrices, and guidance on appropriate diplomatic procedures. Every new species received the same welcome package, and every new species responded with small science vessels filled with their brightest ambassadors and scholars. Zara settled back to wait. First contact responses usually took several weeks or months as new species prepared their diplomatic missions. She began planning the welcome ceremony and cultural exchange programs that would help Earth's representatives feel comfortable among the stars. The unexpected response. 3 days later, alarms began sounding throughout the monitoring station. Bryn's tentacles turned pale as he worked frantically at his station. "Commander, we have an incoming vessel from the Sol system. It's moving at incredible speed and should arrive within the hour." "Excellent," Zara replied. A quick response shows enthusiasm. "What class of diplomatic vessel are they sending?" Bryn's readings made him pause. He ran the scans again, then a third time. "Commander, this cannot be correct. The vessel measures over 2 kilometers in length. Mass readings suggest heavy armor plating and advanced defensive systems. I am detecting multiple energy signatures consistent with weapons arrays." The bridge fell silent. Zara's gill slits closed tight with worry. Perhaps their diplomatic vessels are simply built for long-range travel. Many species over-engineer their first interstellar ships. Ma'am, Bryn continued, his voice growing more concerned. I count 36 distinct weapon systems, advanced shielding technology, and what appears to be a crew complement of over 800. This is not a diplomatic vessel. This is a warship. Dr. Kent scuttled closer to examine the readings. By the ancient protocols, they sent a dreadnought. In 3 centuries of first contact, no species has ever responded to our peaceful invitation with a military vessel. Zara tried to maintain her composure, but her hands trembled slightly. There must be some misunderstanding. Perhaps they interpreted our message differently. Show me the approaching vessel. The main screen flickered to life, displaying the human ship against the star field. Even the most experienced coalition members gasped at what they saw. The vessel was a masterpiece of aggressive engineering. Angular surfaces designed to deflect energy weapons, massive engine arrays that spoke of incredible speed and maneuverability, and weapon ports that seemed to cover every surface. The ship looked like it had been built with one purpose in mind: to fight and win. Incoming transmission, Bryn announced, his voice barely steady. Put it through, Zara ordered. The screen changed to show the bridge of the human vessel. The sight that greeted the coalition was not what they expected from diplomats. A human female sat in the captain's chair, her dark hair pulled back in a practical style, her brown eyes sharp and intelligent. Her uniform was clearly military in design, with insignia that suggested high rank and extensive experience. Behind her, other humans moved about the bridge with practiced efficiency. Even in this brief glimpse, the coalition members could see that these were not scholars or ambassadors. These were warriors. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Space Service vessel Thunderstrike, the human said, her voice carrying quiet authority that commanded attention. We received your invitation and are responding as requested. Zara found her voice. Captain Chen, I am Commander Zora Velthos of the Nexus Coalition. We were expecting diplomatic representatives for peaceful first contact procedures. Captain Chen's expression remained neutral but professional. You have them, Commander. The Thunderstrike is Earth's diplomatic vessel for this mission. A different kind of diplomacy. Captain, Dr. Kent interjected carefully. Your vessel appears to be heavily armed. Our standard protocols emphasize peaceful interaction between species. Chen nodded. We read your protocols thoroughly, Doctor. Earth appreciates the peaceful intentions of the coalition. However, you should understand something about humans. We don't separate our diplomatic corps from our defense forces. Every human diplomat is trained to handle both negotiation and crisis situations. Every human vessel is built to protect the lives and interests of our people. The coalition members exchanged worried glances. This was completely outside their experience. Our ship carries 36 weapon systems. Chen continued matter-of-factly, as if discussing the weather. Each one represents a different solution to potential problems we might encounter. We brought them because humans believe in being prepared for any situation. Prepared for what? Zara asked, though she wasn't sure she wanted to know the answer. For whatever happens next, Chen replied simply. Your message indicated you wanted to establish relations with Earth. This is how Earth conducts relations. We don't send diplomats who hide behind words when action might be needed. We send diplomats who can take action if necessary. A new voice came from off-screen on the human bridge. Captain, we're detecting 17 different alien vessel signatures in the area. All appear to be observing our approach. Acknowledged, Lieutenant. Chen replied without taking her eyes off the screen. Commander Velthos, I assume those are coalition security ships. Standard protocols for first contact situations, Zora confirmed, her voice slightly defensive. Chen nodded approvingly. Smart. If I were in your position, I'd want to know exactly what I was dealing with too. So let me be clear about our intentions. The Thunderstrike is here for peaceful negotiations, but humans define peace differently than most species apparently do. How do you define peace? Dr. Kent asked, fascinated despite his fear. Peace is what happens when everyone involved agrees that cooperation serves their interests better than conflict. Chen said, sometimes that agreement comes through friendship. Sometimes it comes through mutual respect for each other's capabilities. Either way works for us, as long as everyone benefits from the arrangement. Behind Chen, the human bridge crew continued their work with calm efficiency. Even their routine operations looked like preparations for any eventuality. Every human moved with purpose and awareness that spoke of extensive training and experience. We will dock with your station in 45 minutes, Chen announced. My diplomatic team will consist of myself, my science officer, my cultural attaché, and my security chief. They represent Earth's approach to interstellar relations. Captain, Zara tried once more. Traditional first contact involves cultural exchanges, scientific discussions, and peaceful negotiations. Chen smiled, and for the first time, her expression showed warmth alongside the professional competence. Commander, we're looking forward to all of those things. The difference is that our cultural exchanges include demonstrations of human capabilities. Our scientific discussions cover both peaceful applications and defensive technologies, and our negotiations are conducted by people who understand the full range of possibilities that might arise. We find this approach tends to create more honest and lasting relationships. The revelation. The transmission ended, leaving the Coalition bridge in stunned silence. For 3 centuries, the Nexus Coalition had welcomed new species with the same gentle protocols. Never had anyone responded like this. What have we invited into our galaxy? Whispered Dr. Kent. Zara stared at the screen, which now showed the massive human warship growing larger as it approached their station. The vessel moved with surprising grace for something so large and heavily armed. Its approach vector was perfectly calculated, its systems running with obvious efficiency, and its crew clearly knew exactly what they were doing. I believe, Zara said slowly, we are about to discover what happens when a species develops diplomacy and defense as complementary skills rather than separate disciplines. Outside the station's windows, the ESS Thunderstrike continued its approach. Its weapon systems were powered down but ready, its crew prepared for whatever form this first contact would take. The ship represented something the galaxy had never seen before, a species that approached peace through strength, diplomacy through honesty, and friendship through mutual respect for capabilities. As the human vessel prepared to dock, Coalition personnel throughout the station found themselves asking the same question. What would happen when a species that prepared for everything met a galaxy that had prepared for nothing? The docking bay of Nexus Station had never hosted a ship like the ESS Thunderstrike. As the massive human vessel connected to the station, the entire structure groaned slightly under the stress of supporting something so heavily armed and armored. Commander Zora Velthos stood with other Coalition leaders, watching the airlock with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Remember, whispered Dr. Kent, standard diplomatic protocols. Peaceful greetings and gentle negotiations. The airlock hissed open, and Captain Sarah Chen stepped through, followed by 3 other humans. Zara immediately noticed that none of them looked like typical diplomats. Chen wore her military uniform with quiet pride, but behind her came a woman in a practical jumpsuit with grease-stained hands and intelligent eyes, a man whose movements suggested extensive combat training, and another woman carrying what appeared to be a medical kit designed for emergency situations. Welcome to Nexus Station, Zara said, extending her scaled hand in the traditional Coalition greeting. I am Commander Zora Velithos, and these are my fellow Coalition leaders. Chen shook the offered hand with a grip that was firm but not threatening. Captain Sarah Chen, this is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, our Chief Science Officer, Commander James Park, our Cultural Attaché, and Dr. Maya Singh, our Medical Officer. Together, we represent Earth's approach to interstellar diplomacy. As they walked through the station's corridors toward the negotiation chamber, other Coalition members joined the group. The peaceful Andorian delegation seemed particularly nervous around the humans, while the insectoid representatives kept their distance, their antennae twitching with anxiety. The negotiation chamber was designed to make all species feel comfortable, with soft lighting, flexible seating arrangements, and walls decorated with peaceful artwork from across the galaxy. The humans entered and immediately began assessing the room with professional interest. "Excellent design," Commander Park commented, his eyes noting the exits, the communication systems, and the positions of all the delegates. "Good sight lines, multiple configuration options, and neutral territory that doesn't favor any particular species. Very thoughtful." Zara blinked in confusion. "It's designed for peaceful negotiations." "Exactly," Park replied. "The best negotiations happen when everyone feels secure and respected." Part 2. When words become actions. Understanding through demonstratio. Everyone took their seats around the circular table. Zara activated the translation matrix and began the standard first contact presentation. "The Nexus Coalition welcomes Earth to our community of peaceful worlds. We hope to establish trade relations, share scientific knowledge, and promote mutual understanding throughout the galaxy." Captain Chen nodded respectfully. "We appreciate that, Commander. Earth is very interested in joining a community of civilized worlds. However, let me explain how humans approach interstellar relationships so there are no misunderstandings." The coalition members leaned forward attentively. "Earth's position is straightforward," Chen continued. "We want peaceful, profitable relationships with everyone we meet. But humans have learned that lasting peace requires mutual respect, and mutual respect requires understanding each other's true capabilities. We don't believe in hiding who we are or what we can do." Dr. Kent's insectoid features twitched nervously. "What exactly can you do?" Dr. Rodriguez smiled warmly. "We can solve problems. Our medical technology can treat diseases that affect silicon-based, carbon-based, and energy-based life forms. Our engineering can adapt to almost any environmental challenge. Our science spans everything from quantum mechanics to biological systems." "That sounds wonderfully peaceful," said Ambassador Turn of the Healer caste, her feathered crest relaxing slightly. "It is," Dr. Singh agreed. "But our medical technology was developed by treating combat injuries under extreme conditions. Our engineering experience comes from building things that work in hostile environments. Our science includes both creation and defense applications." Commander Park leaned forward. "Human culture values preparation and adaptability. We've learned that being ready for difficult situations is the best way to prevent them from happening." Before anyone could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Emergency lights bathed the negotiation chamber in red illumination as automated systems activated. "Crisis reveals character. All stations, this is Central Command," came an urgent announcement over the station's communication system. "We have multiple unidentified vessels approaching at high speed. Configuration suggests hostile intent. All diplomatic personnel report to secure areas immediately." The coalition members began rising from their seats in confusion, but the humans remained calm. Chen touched a communication device on her uniform. "Thunderstrike, this is the captain. Status report." "Ma'am, we're tracking 8 vessels of unknown configuration approaching the station. They're jamming communications and their energy signatures suggest weapons charging. Estimated time to weapons range, 4 minutes." The coalition delegates were now moving toward the exits in growing panic, but Chen stood and addressed them with calm authority. "Everyone, please remain calm. Dr. Rodriguez, can you interface with the station's sensors to get better readings on the approaching vessels?" Rodriguez was already moving toward the chamber's control panel, her hands dancing over the alien controls with surprising familiarity. "I can adapt our sensor protocols to their systems. Give me 30 seconds." Commander Park stepped to the chamber's main display and began analyzing the tactical situation. 8 ships in attack formation, jamming active, approaching from the galactic south. Classic pirate raid configuration. "Pirates," gasped Commander Velthos. "But this is coalition space. We have treaties, agreements, protocols for dealing with disputes. Pirates don't usually honor treaties, Dr. Singh observed as she opened her medical kit and began preparing for casualties. Captain, should I coordinate with the station's medical facilities? Chen nodded. Do it. Commander Park, work with station security to organize evacuation procedures. Dr. Rodriguez, I need those sensor readings. The coalition delegates watched in amazement as the four humans transformed the panic-stricken negotiation chamber into an efficient command center. Within minutes, they had more information about the attacking vessels than the station's own security forces. When preparation meets crisis, Captain, Rodriguez reported, 8 vessels, heavily armed, definitely hostile. They're broadcasting demands for the station to surrender all valuable cargo and diplomatic personnel. Standard pirate tactics, Park confirmed. They want to capture diplomats from various species for ransom. Unfortunately for them, they didn't expect to find humans here. Chen touched her communicator again. Thunderstrike, are our guests' security ships in position to help defend the station? Negative, Captain. Coalition vessels are withdrawing to safe distance per their standard protocols. Station defenses are minimal. The pirates will be in weapons range in 90 seconds. Zora looked confused and frightened. Our security ships follow strict rules of engagement. They're not equipped for actual combat situations. Chen exchanged glances with her team. In that moment of silent communication, a decision was made that would change galactic diplomacy forever. Thunderstrike, this is the captain. The station contains civilian populations and diplomatic personnel from multiple species. Activate defensive protocols and protect the station. Ma'am, our orders were to conduct peaceful first contact. Chen's voice carried absolute authority. Our orders are to represent Earth's interests and values. Right now, Earth's interests include protecting innocent people, and Earth's values don't allow us to stand by while civilians are threatened. Engage the hostiles. Through the chamber's windows, the coalition delegates watched in awe as the ESS Thunderstrike moved from its docking position with impossible grace for such a large vessel. The ship's weapon systems activated with precise timing, and its shields shimmered to life around its armored hull. The art of protective violence. What happened next lasted only minutes but changed the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. The Thunderstrike engaged 8 pirate vessels simultaneously, its weapons systems working with choreographed precision. Instead of simply destroying the attacking ships, the human vessel disabled them with surgical strikes that left crews alive but ships powerless. Medical teams to Docking Bay 7. Dr. Singh announced over the station's communication system. We'll have prisoners requiring medical attention. Prisoners? Asked Dr. Kent in amazement. You defeated them but didn't destroy them. Commander Park was coordinating with station security to prepare detention facilities. Humans distinguish between eliminating threats and eliminating people. These pirates threatened civilians, so we eliminated the threat. But they're still people, so we preserved their lives. Captain Chen was speaking with both the station commander and her own ship. Thunderstrike, secure the disabled vessels and prepare to transfer prisoners to station custody. Station Central, this is Captain Chen. The immediate threat has been neutralized. We're standing by to assist with any additional security concerns. Dr. Rodriguez looked up from her sensor analysis. Captain, the disabled pirate ships are carrying cargo from at least 6 different worlds, including what appears to be kidnapped individuals from 3 species. Understanding changes everything. As the crisis wound down and emergency systems returned to normal, the coalition delegates found themselves looking at the humans with completely different eyes. What they had initially seen as aggressive militarism, they now understood as protective capability. Commander Velthos approached Captain Chen, her gill slits fluttering with a mixture of respect and curiosity. Captain, you could have simply withdrawn your ship and left us to handle the situation according to our protocols. What would your protocols have accomplished? Chen asked gently. The pirates would have taken what they wanted and departed. Eventually, Coalition security forces would have filed reports and requested assistance from member worlds. The process might have taken weeks or months. Dr. Singh looked up from treating a minor injury one of the station crew had sustained during the alert. And in the meantime, how many people would have suffered? How many worlds would have been raided while the proper procedures were followed? This is why humans don't separate diplomacy from defense, Park explained to the assembled delegates. Real peace isn't maintained by hoping everyone will be reasonable. It's maintained by making sure that reasonable people are protected from those who aren't. Dr. Rodriguez finished downloading data from the pirate vessels and turned to share her findings. These ships have been raiding this sector for months. They've attacked 17 different convoys and outposts. The cargo we recovered includes agricultural supplies that were stolen from a world suffering from crop failures. A new definition of peace. As the coalition delegates processed this information, they began to understand what humanity brought to the galaxy. Not aggression, but the capability and willingness to act when action was needed. Not militarism, but the integration of protective strength with peaceful intentions. Captain Chen, Zara said formally, on behalf of the Nexus Coalition, I want to thank you for protecting our station and our people. Chen's expression was serious but warm. Commander, that's what neighbors do for each other. Earth is hoping to be a good neighbor to the Coalition and all peaceful species. But you were prepared for violence, Dr. Kent observed. We were prepared for whatever might happen, Dr. Rodriguez corrected. Violence was just one possibility. We were equally prepared for scientific collaboration, cultural exchange, trade negotiations, or medical emergencies. Commander Park added, the same training that made us effective in combat also makes us effective in negotiation, exploration, research, and diplomacy. Humans develop comprehensive capabilities because we never know what challenges we might face. Over the following hours, as the prisoners were processed and the recovered cargo was returned to its rightful owners, the coalition delegates observed how the humans worked. They saw Dr. Singh treating injured pirates with the same care she would give to friends. They watched Dr. Rodriguez sharing scanning techniques with coalition scientists to help track down other pirate bases. They observed Commander Park working with station security to develop better early warning systems. Building tomorrow's peace. As the day ended and normal station operations resumed, Commander Velthos found herself in the observation lounge with Captain Chen, looking out at the stars. Captain, I must admit that when your ship first arrived, many of us were frightened by what we saw as aggressive intentions. Chen nodded understanding. That's a reasonable reaction, Commander. Humans know that strength can be frightening to those who haven't needed to develop it. But today we learn that your strength serves peaceful purposes. Our strength serves human purposes, Chen corrected gently. And human purposes include protecting innocent people, supporting just causes, and building relationships based on mutual respect rather than mutual weakness. Zara's gill slits fluttered thoughtfully. The Coalition has maintained peace for 3 centuries through careful diplomacy and conflict avoidance. And that's admirable, Chen replied. But avoiding conflict only works when everyone chooses to be reasonable. Today we met people who weren't interested in being reasonable. What then? The question hung in the space between them, carrying implications that would reshape galactic politics. I think, Zora said slowly, the Coalition has much to learn from humanity about maintaining peace in a galaxy that isn't always peaceful. Chen smiled, and this time the expression held genuine warmth and friendship. And humanity has much to learn from the Coalition about building the kind of relationships that make peace possible in the first place. Maybe that's why we found each other. Outside the observation lounge windows, the ESS Thunderstrike maintained its protective position near the station, its crew ready for whatever tomorrow might bring. The ship represented something new in galactic affairs, the marriage of peaceful intentions with the capability to protect those intentions. The age of passive peace in the galaxy was ending, but the age of protected peace was just beginning. And at its heart stood humanity, ready to be both friend and guardian to those who chose the path of civilization among the stars.